to our next panelist discussing impactful HR strategies for the 2020s. We have amongst us Anuradha Bharat, Head People Operations, Razorpay Software, Nikita Zutshi, VP HR, Make My Trip, Deepa Wadhwani, Director and Head of Talent Acquisition, ADP, with the session chair Shruti Mishra, Lead HR, Retail and Talent Acquisition, Puma Sports India. I request the panelists to unmute themselves as and when they speak.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon, everybody, to this all-women panel in this entire session. Sessions post-lunch are a little difficult to host and to be a part of or being a participant, but I'm sure with the time that we have and the esteemed panelists that we have today, it's going to be definitely a power-packed session, right? So once again, welcome all of you to the panel today. And as the host already mentioned, the topic for today's discussion or today's conversation would be impactful HR strategies for the year 2020. I think 2020 has been a year which has been using the word unprecedented more than ever used before. A year which has accelerated evolution, not only in terms of contextual agility, but also in terms of technology and people practices, business models. So on that note, I would want to understand from each one of you that as an HR professional, what were some of the people or the action-oriented key initiatives that you have taken in your organization, which has created an impact in the community? So I would start with Anuradha.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you and your families are keeping safe. Shruti, Nikita, Deepa, it's my pleasure to share the stage with you. I come from a culture that represents empathy, personal touch, and meaningful human relations. These aspects are deeply embedded in the way we approach solutions, to be with people, to build a great workspace. This was always very important to me, and more so now than ever. And with the current new ways of life, it's most important to equip others to adapt to this and build stronger bonds, especially your leaders. I believe that your closest influencing circles today, your support systems today, are your families, leaders, and the teams that we work with. Keeping these in mind, we launched various programs, practices that people can relate to, that they find meaning in. One of the biggest initiatives that we have taken up with a lot of peers adapting to our approach is the concept of overall well-being. With that in mind, we launched wellness leaves. While this seems like a small change, the outlook, the philosophy, and the thought that we put into this is about a solutions that's most appropriate for today's times and probably to the times to come as well. Our wellness leaves mostly focuses on a person's holistic well-being, emotional, mental, physical. There is a lot of stigma that is attached to mental and emotional well-being. With this, we wanted to break that stigma and encourage people to take leaves, maybe for burnouts, off-screen time, for being physically ill, for probably being depressed, etc. And what we have seen is an uproar in appreciation to how this is being received, not just at Razorpay, but the industry itself. Apart that, we have another initiative that I'm personally very proud of and also part of is the emergency COVID response team. This caters to all aspects of support, be it hospitalization, financial needs, emotional support. Sometimes you just want someone to speak to, and a lot of people, since they also stay alone by themselves, it also caters to dietary needs. These are certain things that have, I think, been very unique and have played a very significant part in how we've approached the last few months.
Brilliant, Anuradha. I think wellness is a very, very important aspect, and looking at it holistically is even more important. Moving on, so I would want to ask uh, Nikita here that Nikita, what is your thoughts and what has been going on in Make My Trip?
I think very similar to what Deepa has spoken about and Anuradha just before this. I think people become our most important asset, Shruti, right? And as an organization, we don't really have a product. So what is most important for us is our people. And like rightly mentioned, wellness has been one of our most important agendas. We've had wellness coaches, we've had people talking about psychological safety to our employees. We've launched an open line for them where they can go speak about the challenges that they're facing. Strangely enough, there are a lot of challenges people are having right now with relationships at home and work, but strangely enough, relationships at work are taking more focus when we realize what are the patterns on these counseling calls. I think the second thing that worked well for us is that we've been very consistent in sharing communication around the health of the organization. We call it the business update session, and we've been doing it. At the beginning, we were doing it once every month because our industry was one of the most impacted industries, and of course, people were very insecure. They were very worried about their future, and I think a lot of work went on connects and communications. Our leaders led by examples. They were having sessions with teams through the day, ring fencing our people, giving them comfort. People who were having challenges in COVID time, we offered them financial assistance also. Of course, there is a COVID response team that's constantly working on providing people all the possible help that they can need. So I think these are some of the things that we've been extensively doing, and we are a young organization, Shruti, so we do a lot of work on, we do a lot of engagement, right? And suddenly when you start working from home, engagement goes to zero. But what we've been able to do is, of course, I tell everyone that I have Zoom fatigue, but turns out the Zoom connects and celebrations have worked really well for the team. So we get together, we celebrate every small thing, be it a birthday, be it an anniversary, be it a newborn in the team. So, and we've been enabling our managers to do this more and more often, being a little more tolerant, little more appreciative of the situation people find themselves in, training them on those lines.
Brilliant. I think communication, empathy, wellness are some of the themes that I have heard here. Deepa, what is your take and how it has been at ADP?
Hello, Shruti. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Firstly, BW, great event, and thank you for having me. It really helps to go last, so thank you, Shruti. To your question, I think this pandemic has changed everything. There has been a complete shift in the mindset. We at ADP thrive on our culture. For us, each person counts. So there are a lot of initiatives like my fellow panelists spoke about that ADP has also kind of worked on wellness, total well-being, be it physical and mental, having a counselor reaching out to our associate who really needs help, having a lot of physical Zoom events and exercises, kind of helping them stay fit. Right, many of our associates are staying alone. I mean, they are away from the family. So, how do you reach out to them? How do you make them feel they are still with us? We are still with them. We do care for them. So that has been ADP's focus. Coming up with a lot of engagement and learning initiatives. That has been one of the well-received initiatives by our associates. And I'll probably speak of something which is very, very basic but extremely important. How do you ensure that our associates are equipped with all the tools and resources that makes them do their job seamlessly? So these are the things that I would want to put up on the table. Thank you, Steve.
Very, very well said, Deepa here. Now, take some cues from what you guys have said. What, according to your experience, what has been those three major HR practices which you've seen evolving in these times and you see becoming as a game changer now in this new era, probably? So I will start again, Anuradha, with you. So
I think these are basics at all times. However, I think somewhere along the way, some of these things did, did take a backseat somewhere. I think for me, it is mostly personalization, emotional connect with the people that we are with, and humanization, of course. This new normal that we are all experiencing today, in my opinion, has in a way brought us closer to people. I think we suddenly understand the importance of human relations, human connections, socialization, nature, and people will definitely want to experience them even at their workplace. And after all, we spend most of our time with our colleagues than we do with anyone else. So for me, in a lot of ways, I think these are three major practices that that can be a game changer for us, not just today, but I think in the days to come as well.
sure. Nikita, what are your thoughts on it?
I think on very similar lines to Anuradha, what we're trying to do and have been, I would say, successful is that we've been available for our teams, right? And when we start any communication call, we don't really start with what's happening at work. Instead, we ask them what's happening at home. Do you need any help? How are things? What did you do over the weekend? So things like these are making them feel more humane, more than just working machines, because at this point in time every organization is working against the clock to do a lot of transformation work that they couldn't do in the earlier stage. So there is a lot of pressure from work, but I think in our own way we're trying to do these connects with our employees, just connects, asking them about how they are, how's their family, and nothing about work, which is really helping a long way. In fact, I know my boss has got a couple of calls from our employees saying that your team just calls to check on us. Nobody's ever done that. And so we realized that that's something that's really touching people's heart, and we expanded it all across with our leaders. Secondly, I think more business specific is that we have been now able to create SBUs, which is strategic business units, which are all encompassing. So these are units that have everything that they need to deliver on projects. It's no more centralized, it's a decentralized structure. So we are able to act faster in a more agile manner. And we're seeing benefits of creating these structures, which are small work teams, more than having large work teams. So small work teams are doing much better. Thirdly, I think learning has become more flexible. Right? Earlier we used to have like full day trainings. Imagine having a full day training over Zoom. Right? As a trainer, I would probably fall asleep or lose steam. So I think now we've started doing bite-sized learnings, and we've realized that that's really helping us a lot. And the learning is, of course, immense there. And as much as fun that can be added, because our workforce is younger, as much as gamification can be added, these are things that are helping us. So much so that people are coming up to us and asking us to deliver some programs, which never was the case before. Yeah, so these are some of the things.
Wow, some interesting times at Make My Trip. Deepa, how has it been? Previously, you mentioned something about the tools that you give to the employees to equip them to do better. So, as per you, what are those game changer tools which are going to be there in this new normal?
Sure, Shruti. So I think technology will continue to play a a really big role. So far, I think HR has been more of a human connect, right? And we will see ourselves in this new avatar of HR, which is going to be powered by technology. There's going to be a concept of people experience. There's going to be a concept of associate experience. The way you hire, onboard, engage, learning. I think like Anuradha and Nikita have kind of already mentioned. The third one is going to be more on the gig economy, Yeah, I know this word has been there for a very, very long time. Yes, but now with work from home being a reality, at least right now, I think it will continue for us as HR practitioners. It will be very important. How do we integrate the these gig economy to our workforces? So those are my thoughts, Sushruti.
Great. And before we end the session, I would just want to understand from each one of you what has been one key learning in this entire turbulent times. And that is more on a personal note that I would want to know, something that you've taken away or something that you've learned. So, Anuradha, what has been your experience or learning in these times?
I think a lot of basics just come back to being reality, right? Things that we've spoken about, that we all know. There's things like trust, there's empathy, there's sleep, there's technology, all of these. However, I think my top two learnings, being in this profession and having to be there for people, is mostly around listening and care. People really want to be heard. They've always been told what's to be done. Sometimes, just allowing them to speak and voice their thoughts, I think, that helps a lot. Just let them speak, and you should just listen. That's been my top learning, really. And I think bringing in genuine care and empathy. I believe that we can bring meaning to our professions only when we do it with authenticity. And I think HR professionals world over will become, or will continue to be instrumental in bringing this change to workplaces. For me, somewhere the beginning, the end, and the core of everything is around people. So everything has to be tailored around that. Those have been my my top learnings, really.
All right. Nikita, what about you?
Yeah, my top learning, Shruti, no surprises there, is that remote working is possible. that's my number. Yeah, it is, and I think productivity has increased thanks to remote working. And of course, stress levels have also increased, but the fact remains that remote working is possible. In all of us, in our own ways, be it young parents, mothers, family members, children, we're adaptable to changing needs of the new normal. And of course, I will second thoughts from Anuradha that empathy is of utmost importance. Tolerance is of utmost importance, right? So don't expect that all your team members are going to be available as per your schedule, because they may or may not be. They may have young children vying for their attention. They may have parents who are not keeping well, and because they're not in office, the expectation is that you need to manage that. So I think providing flexibility to do their work and probably relook at the way performance management is. It should no more be about the number of hours that you're putting in. It should be more around the quality and timelines of delivery. I think these are my three major learnings.
Right. Deepa, your thoughts, please.
Sure, Shruti. So I think 2020 is a year to remember for all the reasons possible. Nobody has a blueprint or a SOP on how to react to a particular situation. This was completely new, and I think it was left to our own individual judgment of how to deal with a particular situation. So personally, Nikita and Anuradha have already shared this balancing act, right? While I'm on phone, I'm attending a meeting, I'm cooking, I'm catering to my child. So each one of us have kind of gone through. It's been a mixed bag. I would definitely want to admit that on that. But on professionally, I think the trust factor. We never believed that we can achieve this kind of productivity, this kind of performance by being away. So the trust which has been built with our team. So these are the two things that come to my mind.
Great. I think empathy has been, empathy and trust, in fact, has been the key underlying factor throughout our conversations. while we've seen evolution of course, technology being the game changer and becoming the strategy of the organizations and even for the HRs in the new era. So great speaking to all of you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Deepa. Thank you, Anuradha. And thank you, Nikita,